Piano teachers, how to help your students with a simple and very useful trick to deal with mistakes that happen on stage when they already have to perform for an audience, whether it be an exam, a concert or a competition, or just playing before friends and family. This is a very simple and useful trick that we can use, let's say, some weeks before that performance date, when they already have learned their piece, because it's a matter of time when the mistake happens, whether by accident, whether because they were poorly prepared, or whether because there was some kind of noise coming from the audience and it kind of derailed their ears from focusing on, because the ears are very sensitive during the performance, and unfortunately it's not that we can control what we hear and what we don't. A noise is a noise. It's not like our eyes that we can focus on where to look at. Now, this has nothing to do with how to talk to your students about the psychology of going on stage and performing. This is a different video that I'm going to be making. And also another video to that, related to that part of psychology of performing, is going to be how to talk to parents of the students, because this is also very important. A lot of the times, the anxiety from parents, because they're going to see their kid performing, is transforming into more anxiety for the students, some subconsciously most of the times. So it is also very important to know what and how to talk to parents, to kids, before going on stage. But now, let's go back to that simple and useful technique that I call the parachute, or the little comfort pillows. I am very intentional on what kind of words I use, because I want the words to be positive and to relate to something that saves us. Let's say parachute is going to save us to land safely to the end of the piece, or comfort pillows. A pillow is not attached in any kind of way with some kind of danger. So what are these little parachutes or comfort pillows? These are special bars or moments or beats that the student can go back to or go a little bit in front to, so that they save themselves from stopping because of a mistake. The best case scenario would be for either, if a mistake happens on the right hand, the left hand to continue, or the left hand made a mistake, the right hand to continue. If neither of this works, unfortunately this also happens, we have the parachutes or the comfort pillows. Have in mind that for different students on the same piece, they can have different parachutes. It depends on them. And you can literally draw them. Let's give an example in this Menuet by Bach. In the first phrase, we have, let's say, 2 little motifs on the first phrase. Let's say the left hand made a mistake because it didn't remember it has a whole octave to jump. So I'm gonna, if I see that the student's sometimes messing this up, I'm going to ask them to remember very well the 4th bar and how it ends. It's going to end on D on both hands. This is easy to remember. And why D? Because it's the king, it's the tonic of our piece, which is written in D minor. So if a mistake happens, let's say on the 3rd bar, the parachute is going to be drawn on the 4th bar or on the 3rd beat, even if they only play the right hand and the left hand only plays this last key at the end. So this can happen. And this is the parachute that saved it. Now, going to the second motive, also very important to remember. These kind of parachutes are also related to the form of the piece. The first motive or preposition ended, the second, they need to be able to differentiate and be able to start from different phrases their pieces. So you can also draw the parachutes on the beginning of some phrase. Let's say here again the left hand didn't remember where to go. So we're going to draw a parachute on that last bar again and how to end it. So let's go from here. We ended. We didn't get shocked because the left hand could not remember what to play here. We ended it because we knew that our parachute, our second parachute, is on this phrase, and the left hand has to play those 3 keys, or at least just that last key. Now let's move on to the second phrase. Now here, the finale begins. Here is also an important part that we could draw a parachute. But let's say we never needed it. Let's say the right hand now makes a mistake and doesn't remember. Let's see if we can draw a parachute here, or again at the end of the phrase, so that we can save it. Let's say that this bar was already being with a lot of mistakes several times. Let's make sure that this parachute is drawn here and the student remembers that it starts from F key. And he has to play this to end it. And of course at the end, the tonic key again on both hands. So there are these kind of different places that we can place those parachutes, so that if both hands stops in the worst case scenario, they are able to continue, and also not to delay in time and let the time pass and the anxiety to grow. They have to remember in their mind, okay, I made a mistake, let's go on to the parachute, let's find a parachute. If the mistakes happen somewhere, even in the worst case scenario, they don't remember the parachute, they can repeat from the beginning the phrase and just not make a repetition and continue. This is also a solution to that. So make sure to create this kind of moments where the students also can think that, okay, when that mistake happens, because it's when the mistake is going to happen and not if the mistake is going to happen. This is much more realistically and you're being more truthful with your students this way. They already have a solution. Either they have 3 solutions. Either continue with one hand, the one that didn't make a mistake, or the other. Or if both hands stop, they have those little moments, parachutes, comfort pillows, whatever you want to call them, so that they can continue from there on and continue with the piece and not let the time pass and create even more and more anxiety because there is silence all of a sudden. So, hope that helps. And if you have different techniques on how you deal with when mistakes happen on stage, feel free to share them in the comments. Have a good and safe landing on your practice.